WREN launched last year. Our mission is to build a movement to advance the health, economic well-being, and rights of women, girls, and their families in South Carolina. I'm going to see where I need to hold this so we don't get that buzz. And we pursue our mission by advocating with and educating policymakers and the general public, by equipping people across the state to use their voices to stand up for women, and by building coalitions of people, organizations, and businesses. Step back. All right, step back like this. Like this, okay, this is good. Just going with it. Ashley's my choreographer. Building coalitions of businesses, policymakers, organizations, institutions, advocates to work collectively toward a more equitable, inclusive, and prosperous South Carolina. This, as I said, is our first summit, and our objective is to convene diverse groups of people to discuss not only why it's important to promote gender equality and empower women and girls across the state, but also to learn from one another about what's working well and what needs to be done differently to close some of the most persistent gender gaps that we have in our state. The theme of the summit this year is women in the workforce. And we chose this theme because we know that financial stability and economic well-being are crucial to women in our state, and nearly 20% of South Carolina's women live below the poverty line. And this is despite the fact that women in South Carolina do play a huge role in our economy. About half of our labor force is comprised of women, and at least 2/3 of our families have a female breadwinner. So despite the fact that women in our state do show up to work, women are not necessarily working in the industries or occupations that offer the best opportunities for advancement, and women still do not earn equal wages with men for comparable full-time work. We're going to have a chance soon to dig into more data on this topic, and that's going to be the starting point of our conversation. Where are we? Where are we now? And more importantly, the horizon we're looking towards is where could we be? I'm going to give you an overview of our agenda. First of all, we're delighted to welcome Dr. Joseph Von Nessen from the Darla Moore School of Business. Dr. Von Nessen and his colleagues have completed a study for us that's going to show us a lot again about where we are in terms of women in the workforce in South Carolina and where we could be if we closed some of our gaps in labor force participation. And that's going to be a springboard for a day of discussion about the how. So how do we get from where we are to where we could be? And that's where all of you come in. And our panelists and moderators today are going to help us craft a conversation that will inspire all of us to jump in and share our experience, our perspectives on what's working well and what needs to be done better. So we've got 3 different panels today. The first panel of business leaders will discuss challenges and opportunities in some of our state's major industries. The second panel will discuss training and educational opportunities. And the third panel this afternoon will discuss a range of challenges outside of the workplace, but that are critical to women's economic empowerment and overall empowerment related to their health status, their socioeconomic status, and their legal status. All of these can pose barriers, but we want to talk about how we overcome those barriers. We'll also have 2 sets of breakout discussions today at 11 and 3 o'clock, led by some fabulous women who are going to help us gain practical skills that we can use, whether in the workplace or in terms of our advocacy, or if we want to run for political office, we're going to get inspiration and practical skills for how to pursue those objectives. This conversation today and all of the conversations that we'll be having throughout the day is intended to be a catalyst for accelerated progress in South Carolina. We want to focus not on barriers, but on solutions, on scaling up what we know is working, on piloting new approaches that might work, and overall increase our collective commitment that the time is now to unleash the economic potential of women in South Carolina. To achieve our potential, we'll need to do more than business as usual. We'll need coordination and commitment from the private, public, and nonprofit sectors. And that's why we're having a summit. But it is a conversation today that we hope will drive us to not more conversation, that's good, but also to collective action that we can each play a part in. So as the convener of the summit, WREN is committed to listening, learning, and following up. Tomorrow, on Equal Pay Day, WREN advocates will take our report and our recommendations to the State House to share with our elected officials in the South Carolina General Assembly. And we will also prepare a summary report of the recommendations that are emerging from today, and we'll send this back out to you, and we'll ask for your help in implementing the recommendations. Work will need to be done to reach the people who aren't here today. To the industry leaders, small business owners, local chambers of commerce, policymakers, and advocates across the state who can and should be creating more opportunities for women to thrive in our workforce. Throughout the day, we hope that you will participate actively, share your perspectives, your challenges, and your ideas. At the back of the room, there is a banner with our goal, equip women to thrive in South Carolina's workforce. And there are 3 sections with color-coded cards. So on the red cards, we ask you, you can do this at any time throughout the day, get up during the panels or do it at breaks. On the red cards, write down what you see as some of the key barriers that we're confronting towards achieving that goal. And on the blue card, jot down what you think are some of the key solutions that you're hearing today or that you think need to be on the table. And then on the yellow cards, we want you to write down a commitment or 2. What is your personal commitment to getting us from where we are to where we could be? And please write your name and your email on the back of that card, because we're going to follow up with you and make sure that you haven't forgotten about your commitment. So I want to thank again everybody for being here, for your time, your energy, and in advance for your commitments, and we can't wait to hear from you throughout the day.